Have you ever wondered about the depth of God's love for us, how it influences our daily lives? These are questions that have piqued the curiosity of spiritual seekers for centuries. We're here today to explore those questions, to delve into the profound mystery of God's love as depicted in the most widely read book in human history, the Bible. You see, the Bible isn't just a collection of stories and verses, it's a sacred text that bears witness to God's love for humanity. It tells us about a love that transcends time and space, a love that endures, a love that transforms. We're not just going to skim the surface, we're going to dig deep, delve into the heart of the scriptures, and examine the profound implications of God's love for our day-to-day lives. So, are you ready to embark on this journey? Join us as we delve into the Bible to understand God's message of love for us today. One of the most profound verses in the Bible about God's love is from 1 John 4:16. This verse reads, "So we have come to know and to believe the love that God has for us. God is love, and whoever abides in love abides in God, and God abides in him." What a powerful testament to the boundless love God has for each and every one of us. Now let's take a moment to unpack this verse a bit. It begins with the acknowledgement that we have come to know and believe in God's love. This is not a surface-level understanding, but a deep, personal knowing and believing. It speaks of a relationship with God, a relationship that is built on trust, faith, and love. The verse goes on to say, God is love. This is a simple yet profound statement. It doesn't say God has love or gives love, but that God is love. This is the very essence of who God is. Love is not just something God does, it's who He is. It's His very character, His nature. Then the verse introduces the concept of abiding. Whoever abides in love abides in God, and God abides in him. To abide means to remain or stay. It implies a sense of permanence, of being rooted and grounded. It's not a fleeting temporary state, but a consistent, enduring reality. When we abide in love, we are abiding in God because God is love. And in a beautiful reciprocal relationship, God also abides in us. So, this verse, in its simplicity and depth, encapsulates the essence of God's love. It speaks of a love that is not just an emotion, but a state of being. A love that is not just a momentary experience, but an enduring reality. A love that is not just about receiving, but also about abiding. This verse encapsulates the essence of God's love. Let's explore it in detail. This verse from 1 John 4:16 has profound implications for our understanding of God's love. Let's take a moment to unpack this scripture, to truly grasp the depth of its message. The verse reads, "So we have come to know and to believe the love that God has for us. God is love, and whoever abides in love abides in God, and God abides in him." There's a lot to dissect here. Firstly, so we have come to know and to believe the love that God has for us. This initial statement establishes a relationship and intimate bond between us and God. It speaks of a journey, a process of coming to know and to believe. It's not an overnight transformation, but a gradual realization that God's love is at the heart of our existence. This love isn't just about warm feelings, it's not just about comfort or security. It's a love that transcends our understanding, a love that is so profound, so all-encompassing, that it becomes the very foundation of our belief. This love is not earned, it is freely given. It is unconditional, meaning that it doesn't depend on our actions, our successes, or failures. It is ever present, always there, even when we feel undeserving. The next part of the verse, God is love, is a powerful declaration. It's not just saying that God loves or that God is loving, it's saying that God is love. This means that every aspect of love we experience, every act of kindness, every moment of compassion, every instance of forgiveness, is a reflection of God. It is also a reminder that God's love isn't something that comes and goes. It's not something that can be earned or lost. It is a constant, a defining characteristic of God. This understanding of God as love reshapes our image of the divine. It takes away the fear, the judgment, and replaces it with love, pure and unconditional. Then we come to, "And whoever abides in love abides in God, and God abides in him." This part of the verse invites us into a relationship with God. To abide in love is to live in love, to make love the guiding principle of our lives. When we choose to live in love, we are choosing to live in God, and when we make this choice, God also lives in us. This isn't a one-sided relationship. It's not just about us reaching out to God, it's also about God reaching into us, making a home within our hearts. In our daily lives, This means practicing love in all our interactions. It means forgiving those who have wronged us, showing kindness to those who need it, and extending compassion to those who are hurting. It means letting go of hate, of anger, of fear, and embracing love, peace, and understanding. When we live in love, we are not just living for ourselves, we are living for God. And in doing so, we become vessels of God's love, spreading His unconditional love to those around us. So, when we reflect on this verse, we see that it isn't just about understanding God's love, it's about living in God's love. It's about letting that love transform us, guide us, and lead us towards a life of love, of compassion, of kindness. So, this verse teaches us that God's love is not just a concept, but a reality that we live in. It's an invitation to experience the transformative power of God's love, to let it reshape our lives and our relationships. It's a reminder that God is love and that we, created in His image, are also called to be love. Now that we understand the depth of God's love, how does this influence our lives in the present? In our modern and fast-paced world, we often find ourselves facing challenges that can seem insurmountable. We grapple with personal issues, societal pressures, and global crises. But amidst all these, there's a constant undercurrent of divine love that permeates our lives, helping us navigate these challenges. God's love isn't a relic of the past. It's an enduring force that shapes our present and future. It's a love that isn't contingent on our perfection or our ability to reciprocate. It's a love that remains steadfast regardless of our flaws and failures. Consider a mother who tirelessly cares for her child. She feeds, nurtures, and protects her child, often putting her own needs aside. This selfless love mirrors God's love for us. It's a love that is unconditional, unwavering, and sacrificial. Now imagine a person battling addiction. They've fallen into a dark pit, and every attempt to climb out seems to push them deeper into despair. But one day, they find the strength to reach out for help, to take that first step towards recovery. That inner strength, that spark of hope, is a manifestation of God's love. It's a love that empowers us, that gives us the courage to confront our demons and the resilience to overcome them. Or think about the countless individuals who devote their lives to serving others, the doctors who work long hours to heal, the teachers who inspire young minds, the volunteers who give their time and energy to help those in need. Their dedication and compassion are reflections of God's love. It's a love that inspires us to be better, to do better, to love better. In the face of global crises like poverty, climate change, and social injustice, it's easy to feel overwhelmed and helpless. But God's love encourages us to take action, not out of obligation or guilt, but out of genuine concern for our fellow human beings and our planet. It's a love that fosters empathy, solidarity, and stewardship. God's love isn't just about feeling good or being happy, it's about growth and transformation. It's about learning to love ourselves, despite our imperfections. It's about extending that love to others, without judgment or prejudice. It's about using that love to make a positive impact on the world around us. God's love isn't a one-size-fits-all solution to all our problems. It doesn't promise a life free of pain or suffering, but it does promise us the strength to endure, the courage to change, and the hope to persevere. So whether you're grappling with personal struggles, navigating societal pressures, or wrestling with existential questions, remember that you're not alone. God's love is with you, within you, around you. It's in every act of kindness you perform, every challenge you overcome, every moment of growth you experience. God's love is not a distant, abstract concept. It's a living, breathing reality that we can experience, share, and embody in our daily lives. It's a love that heals, empowers, and transforms. It's a love that connects us to each other, to our planet, and to the divine. God's love is not just a historical concept, but a guiding force in our lives today. As we draw this exploration to a close, let's summarize what we've learned about God's love. God's love is a theme that reverberates powerfully throughout the Bible, a constant thread that weaves itself through every verse, every story, every parable. It's a love that is unconditional and all-encompassing, a love that transcends human understanding and breaks down barriers that we build. We've delved into the depth of this love, journeying through the Bible to understand its true meaning. We've seen it in the Garden of Eden, where despite humanity's disobedience, God clothed Adam and Eve, providing for them even in their exile. We've witnessed it in the promise to Abraham, where God's love was so profound that He promised to make a great nation through him. And we've been moved by it in the life, death, and resurrection of Jesus Christ, the ultimate embodiment of God's love for us. This love isn't just a historical concept, it's a living reality. It's a love that permeates every aspect of our lives today. In times of joy, God's love is a celebration, a shared happiness that multiplies our own. In times of sorrow, it's a comforting presence, a soft whisper that tells us we're not alone. It's a love that forgives, heals, restores, and uplifts. We've seen how this love is a beacon in today's world, a light that shines even in the darkest corners. It's a love that compels us to reach out to our neighbors, to care for the needy, and to seek justice for the oppressed. It's a love that drives us to be better, to do better, to love better. The central theme of our Bible verse, and indeed the central theme of the entire Bible, is this unwavering love of God. This love is not something we earn or deserve, but it's given freely, generously, and without reservation. It's a love that doesn't discriminate or judge, but accepts us as we are, with all our flaws and imperfections. We've also discussed the implications of this love in our lives. It's not just about receiving God's love, but also about reflecting it in our actions. By showing kindness to others, by forgiving those who have wronged us, by standing up for what's right, we become vessels of God's love. We become a part of God's grand narrative of love. As we navigate the complexities of life, it's easy to feel overwhelmed, to feel lost. But let's take heart in the knowledge of God's unwavering love for us. This love is our anchor, our compass, our guiding light. It's a love that transcends time and space, a love that is as constant as the rising sun, as vast as the endless sky. In the face of trials and tribulations, remember God's love for us is unwavering and ever present. We are never alone.